The conference room air hung thick with a scent of polished mahogany and stale coffee, the kind that clings to your throat like unspoken accusations. I sat there, Elena Voss, my fingers gripping the edge of the prenuptial agreement so tightly that the paper crinkled under my nails, the sound slicing through the silence like a knife through flesh. Across the table, Marcus's parents, Reginald and Vivian Hargrove, watched me with the cold detachment of appraisers valuing a flawed gem. Marcus, my fiancé of 2 years, shifted beside me, his knee brushing mine under the table in what might have been reassurance, but felt more like a nudge toward surrender. "Elena," Vivian said, her voice smooth as silk but laced with venom. "It's nothing personal. You understand, don't you? Marcus has assets, family holdings. And you? Well, you bring heart to the table. But let's be realistic." Her smile didn't reach her eyes, those piercing blue orbs that had sized me up from our first dinner, deeming me unworthy. "No assets." The words echoed in my skull, a hammer blow to the fragile illusion I'd built. They didn't know. They couldn't know. And in that moment, as fury boiled up from my gut, hot and acrid like bile, I felt the first crack in my heart, the shatter of betrayal that would fuel everything to come. I stared at the document, the black ink blurring through unshed tears. How had we gotten here? Marcus and I met at a charity gala. Him in his tailored suit, me in a borrowed dress, playing the part of the modest consultant. I'd hidden my truth from the start, not out of deceit, but fear. Fear that love would twist into greed, as it had with my parents' crumbling marriage. My father built Voss Financial from nothing, a quiet empire of regional banks, and left it to me when he died young. I'd kept it anonymous, running it through proxies, living simply in a rented apartment to test if someone could want me for me. Marcus had seemed genuine, his laughter warm, his touches tender. But now this. His parents' lawyer, a slick man with a perpetual smirk, slid the pen toward me. "It's standard, Miss Voss. Protects everyone." Protects them, he meant. For me. The gold digger they assumed I was. My mind reeled, denial crashing against the evidence. This couldn't be Marcus's idea. He'd whispered promises in the dark, about building a life together, no barriers. But here he was, silent, his hand on my back like a puppet master's string. Heartbreak clawed at my chest, a raw, gaping wound. I wanted to scream, to fling the papers across the room and watch them scatter like confetti from a ruined party. Instead, I forced a smile, brittle as cracked glass. "I see," I murmured, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "No assets. That's what you think." Reginald leaned forward, his jowly face flushed with self-righteousness. "Come now, Elena. You're a lovely girl, but Marcus's future, the estate, the investments, it's generational. We can't risk complications. Complications." Me. The humiliation burned, a fire spreading from my cheeks to my core, twisting into resentment. They saw me as disposable, a pretty accessory until something better came along. As we left the office, the elevator's descent mirrored my plummeting spirit. Marcus squeezed my hand. "Babe, it's just paperwork. Mom and Dad insisted. Doesn't change us." His eyes pleaded, but I saw the flicker, guilt, or calculation. In the car, rain pattering against the windshield like accusatory fingers, I turned to him. "Did you know about this?" He hesitated just a beat too long. "They mentioned it. Thought it was no big deal." No big deal. The words ignited obsession, a dark seed planting in my soul. That night, alone in my apartment, the one I paid for with pocket change from my empire, I paced the creaky wooden floors, the city lights blurring through tear-streaked windows. Fantasies swirled, storming their mansion, revealing everything, watching their faces crumple. But doubt crept in. Was I overreacting? Love meant compromise, right? Yet the resentment festered, a poison seeping into my veins. They didn't just doubt me, they demeaned me. And Marcus. His silence was complicity. Days blurred into a haze of feigned normalcy. I signed the prenup, my hand trembling, the ink a blood oath of my resolve. At family dinners, Vivian's barbs grew sharper, disguised as jokes. Elena, dear, have you thought about a career upgrade? Consulting is so transient. Reginald chuckled, his bourbon glass clinking against the crystal table. Marcus laughed along, his eyes avoiding mine. Each jab layered my humiliation, building a fortress of anger. Inside I plotted. Voss Financial held the mortgage on their sprawling estate, the one they'd leveraged for expansions, assuming anonymity protected them. I discovered it months ago, a quirk of fate when reviewing portfolios. Now it whispered temptation, foreclosure, quiet audit revealing discrepancies. The ideas thrilled and terrified me. Guilt gnawed. Was this who I was? A vengeful shadow. But the heartbreak justified it. They wanted assets. Show them mine. Subtle hints emerged in my behavior, unnoticed by them. I skipped a weekend getaway, citing work, using the time to pore over files in my hidden office, a sleek penthouse disguised as a corporate rental. The glow of computer screens illuminated my face as I traced their financial web. Overextended loans, risky investments. Reginald's arrogance had led to shortcuts, minor frauds buried in paperwork. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, heart pounding. One click could unravel it all. But fear held me back. Fear of losing Marcus, of becoming the monster they accused me of being. Moral conflict raged. Revenge felt like justice, yet it tainted my soul. I imagined his face when he learned the truth. Shock, betrayal mirroring mine. Would he beg, apologize, or turn on me? Tension simmered at our engagement party, the Hargrove mansion aglow with string lights, the air thick with champagne bubbles and forced laughter. Guests milled on the manicured lawn, the scent of blooming roses cloying. Vivian pulled me aside, her perfume overwhelming. We're so thrilled, Elena. Just remember, family first. Her grip on my arm was possessive, a warning. I nodded, suppressing rage, my mind flashing to the bank statements I'd memorized. Marcus danced with me under the stars, his whisper hot against my ear. I love you no matter what. Liar, I thought, the word a dagger in my chest. That night, as he slept beside me, I lay awake, resentment hardening into cold resolve. The plan crystallized. I'd wait, let them dig deeper, then strike. Not destruction but exposure. Poetic, painful. The suspense built in my veins, a slow poison I savored. Weeks turned to months, the wedding looming like a guillotine. I played the dutiful fiancé, all smiles and concessions, while inwardly I unraveled their facade. A discreet tip to auditors about irregularities. Nothing traceable to me. Reginald's calls grew frantic, his voice cracking over dinner. Some mix-up at the bank. Nothing to worry about. Vivian's poise faltered, lines etching her face. Marcus confided in me, oblivious. Dad's stressed. The house loan, it's ballooning. I feigned concern, my hand on his, while obsession consumed me. Fantasies evolved. Not just financial ruin but emotional. Reveal myself at the altar. No, too dramatic. Better to let it unfold slowly, watching them squirm. Doubt plagued me. Did Marcus deserve this? His motivations blurred, love or status. Guilt twisted like a knife, but humiliation overrode it. They had demanded I prove my worth. Now I'd demand theirs. The breaking point came on a stormy evening, thunder rumbling like distant artillery. Marcus and I argued in their library, shelves of leather-bound books mocking my transient life. Your parents treat me like dirt, I spat, tears hot on my cheeks. He sighed, exasperated. They're protective. You have nothing to lose, Elena. Why fight it? Nothing to lose. The words shattered the last illusion. Heartbreak surged, raw and unrelenting. In that moment, resolve solidified. I'd owned the bank all along, the one financing their home, their life. They thought me assetless. I'd reclaim everything. The foreclosure notice arrived on a crisp autumn morning, the envelope pristine white against the Hargroves' ornate mailbox. I wasn't there to see it, but I imagined Vivian's manicured hands trembling as she tore it open, her gasp echoing through the marble foyer. Reginald would bellow, pacing the Persian rugs, his face reddening like overripe fruit. Marcus called me that afternoon, his voice a fractured whisper over the phone. "Elena, something's wrong. The bank, they're calling in the loan. Dad says it's a mistake, but, God, we're over-leveraged." I stood in my penthouse office, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the city skyline, a kingdom they'd never suspected. "That's awful," I replied, my tone laced with feigned sympathy, while inside, satisfaction bloomed like a dark flower. The suspense had peaked. Now the retaliation began. But guilt shadowed it. Had I gone too far? The moral grayness weighed heavy, a stone in my chest. I'd orchestrated it meticulously, proxies handling the details to keep my hands clean. Voss Financial's audit uncovered the discrepancies. Embezzled funds, falsified statements, Reginald's desperate bids to maintain appearances. Not enough for jail, but sufficient for default. The house, that symbol of their superiority, was collateral. As days passed, their panic mounted. Family meetings turned tense, voices raised behind closed doors. I attended one, playing the supportive outsider, while resentment fueled my observations. Vivian's eyes, once haughty, now darted with fear. "We built this life," she murmured, clutching her pearls. Reginald slammed his fist on the table, the thud reverberating. "Damn bank. Who owns it anyway? Some faceless corporation." I bit my lip, suppressing a smile. The irony twisted like a blade. Me, the assetless one, holding their fate. Marcus grew distant, stress etching lines on his face. Our nights together, once filled with passion, now simmered with unspoken accusations. "You seem calm," he said one evening as we sat on my apartment's worn couch, rain lashing the windows. "Aren't you worried about us?" The word stung, a reminder of what I'd lost. Heartbreak resurfaced, layered with obsession. "I am," I lied, my fingers tracing his jaw, feeling the tension there. Inside, fantasies played, revealing myself now, watching realization dawn. But I waited, the slow burn heightening the suspense. Doubt crept in. Did he love me, or the security I unknowingly provided? His motivations unraveled. Whispers of past flings with wealthier women, overlooked in my denial. Moral conflict raged. Revenge felt justified, yet it hollowed me. The auction loomed, a public humiliation they'd dread. Reginald begged extensions, his pride crumbling. I monitored from afar, reports filtering through my team. Then the pivotal moment. A private meeting at the bank. I'd arranged it anonymously, curiosity and vengeance, drawing me. Disguised in a sharp suit, hair pinned back, I observed from a hidden room, the one-way glass a veil between worlds. Reginald entered, blustering, Vivian trailing like a shadow. "This is outrageous," he thundered at my proxy, a stern woman named Clara. "We've been clients for years." Clara's response was measured. "Irregularities void leniency, Mr. Hargrove." Their faces crumpled, fear, desperation. Vivian whispered, "What will we do?" Reginald's reply bitter. "If only Marcus hadn't chosen that girl. No help there. That girl. Me." Fury reignited, cold resolve pushing aside guilt. Marcus confronted me that night, the air in my apartment thick with unspoken truths. "Elena, I need to know. Do you have any connections? Anything to help?" His eyes searched mine, pleading. Tension coiled, a spring ready to snap. I hesitated, heart pounding, then let the mask slip. "Connections? Like what, Marcus?" "To a bank." He frowned, confusion flickering. Slowly I revealed. "Voss Financial. Own it. All of it." The words hung heavy as lead. His jaw slackened, shock rippling across his features. "What? But you said." I cut him off, voice steady despite the storm inside. "I said nothing. You assumed. Your family demanded a prenup because I had no assets. Remember." Realization dawned, horror mixing with betrayal. You did this. The foreclosure, it's you. I nodded, resentment pouring out. You let them humiliate me. Treat me like trash. Now feel it. He staggered back, hands raking his hair. Elena, please. Love you. This isn't you. Love. The word twisted a mockery. Obsession gripped me. Had it ever been real? Guilt surged. His family ruined, our future ashes. But the moral grayness fueled me. They'd earned this. Sign the dissolution, I said, sliding papers across the table. Our engagements end, mirroring their prenup. Tears glistened in his eyes. You're destroying us. Know them. Me. I'd rebuild. The twist came at the auction, under a grey sky heavy with impending rain. The Hargrove estate swarmed with bidders, the air buzzing with murmurs. Reginald and Vivian stood aside, broken shells. Marcus approached me, desperate. Elena, buy it back. For us. I paused, feigning consideration. Then coldly. No. But as the gavel fell, to an anonymous bidder I whispered the truth. I already have. Shock froze him. Poetic justice. Their home now mine. Yet unexpected consequences hit. Loneliness, a hollow victory. As I walked away, rain beginning to fall, washing the scene clean, I felt the weight of my choices. Revenge tasted bitter, laced with regret. Had I become them? The question lingered, a shadow on my empire. In the end, betrayal birthed vengeance, but vengeance birthed isolation. I owned everything except peace. The emotional scar remained, a reminder. Assets couldn't mend a shattered heart.